Hi Virgo, great to see you. Come on in just in time for your Virgo April 2020 reading. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those of you who are dropping by for the first time. Now, for the Virgo subscribers, as you can probably get from the surroundings, I've just been spending the last hour or so in prayer and meditation for you Virgo subscribers to bring you peace, strength and tranquility through the month of April. And you will feel that. You will definitely feel that. Thank you very much for subscribing. Oh, thanks also to the Virgos who have contacted me for private readings. I've done a few of you in the last month. Thank you also for introducing me to your friends. That's a great vote of confidence, and I appreciate that. Of course, I do the private readings wherever you are around the world, because we can do it it's face-to-face, over FaceTime or Skype. And in the last month I've been reading for you YouTubers in the United States, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, South Africa, India, the Philippines, Germany, Italy, I think it was someone in Greece, Norway was one person, Dubai. You'd be surprised at the number of places that come up. Anyway, if you would like a private reading, just have a look in the description box below, and there's my details. Check out the website and email address and what have you. Now, let's get things underway for you, shall we? We're going to take 5 cards, and I'm going to do 3 playing cards at the end as well. But let's get the tarot section done first. There is the Fool. There is the Knight of Cups. There is the 7 of Discs. Quite beautiful artwork on this. There's the 7 of Wands. I hope you like wolves. And there's the 10 of Wands. Now 3 playing cards. Let's see. Queen of Diamonds. 2 of Spades. And the Queen of Clubs. Very interesting. Why don't you come down now, sit down next to me. Let's have a little bit of one-on-one time and look at these cards while I explain what I think they mean for you this month. The highly talented and attractive Virgo. Let's have a look here. Now, we're going to deal with... Oh, I just love this. Let's have a look at this card here, which is the Fool. Now, what am I getting from the imagery? Well, in the Fool's bag is his self. At first he travels lightly, steps lightly, carries his package lightly. By the end he thunders when he walks, the earth shudders and quakes. But for all his might and weight, the Fool remains deep inside in a little bag, beating. The Fool is a living caduceus, a living tree of life, the beginning and the end, a double helix of DNA, the kundalini winding up the spine, a chariot of the sun, the soul of man. Ah, this image to me resembles, it's the universal key with all the elements of creation, the descent of spirit into flesh, and the ascent of flesh back to spirit, and most importantly, the coexistence of all at the same time in an undulating, scintillating, living, moving metaphor of the universe. This is the period beyond the veils of negative existence, where you exist with endless wisdom, limitless nothing, fearlessly jumping off a cliff and into the abyss, where this radiating sun will transform into a beautiful terrestrial creature, you with free will. Let me just pull it out a bit here. What else can I say here? Well, I think what this is really saying to you is that this is a time for something new and spontaneous about to happen in your life. The beginning of a journey into the unknown, which is full of potential for you. The need to take a leap, not of faith, but with the inner confidence that you will be okay. Open up your life and have faith that you can create what you want. Maybe this is talking also for the desire to break free of the usual routine of life, but look upon life as the Fool does, and be empty. The Fool is neither male or female. The Fool is both male and female, both adult and child, and look upon life as the child does. This is a time when you've got the opportunity to manifest your creative impulses, to move towards wholeness, re-owning your courage, and perhaps an attention to your spiritual journey. You are now the one who walks without fear. You are the breath caressing my cheek in your incessant going, yet you are with me always. Let's see what appears underneath it. And I'll do these playing cards at the end, but here we have, well, it's quite a straightforward image, isn't it? Certainly nice if you like dogs or wolves or something, I suppose. Well, this is the Seven of Wands, the Lord of Valor, of courage. It is Mars in the third decan of Leo with, I'm looking at the color of these eyes, with Venus association to it here as well. There's number 7 for me, mystically, is very much associated with the planet of Venus. So Mars in Leo with Venus in the card as well. So there is in Wands the energy of the suit of fire, but it starts to get weakened about this far down the tree. Down at the number 7, it's a long way away from the ace. And we have the feminine energy of Venus, which is kind of further diluting that strength of fire in the Wands. Now Mars in Leo, well, Mars normally likes Leo. It gets on well with Leo. But in this case, I think what's happening is that a long way down the suit from the ace, this harmony doesn't exist, and the feminine energy of Venus just does not sit well with Mars. Now, you may well feel that there is something going on in your life where you feel as if it is only your Mars energy that is keeping you going. You may feel there could be something happening that the moment where you feel that, oh, I'm on a sinking ship, or I'm fighting a losing battle, and it's only your courage which is keeping you going. Now, maybe you feel that you haven't been dealt the best hand in relation to something. And even you think that maybe things in the background don't seem to be going well for you. But I'm here to tell you that they are. Because even though the planet of Venus, and this number 7 here, is having a detrimental effect on the energy of the card, nevertheless, from an astrological point of view, nevertheless, this number 7 here represents an area of divine emanation prior to the universe, when you were still here on the other side of the 3 veils of negative existence, which actually relates to victory. So you will overcome. You will overcome. Now, depending on what is going on in your life, this could relate to a relationship problem where you feel you're running out of energy and ideas as to how to keep sustaining it. Or it could relate to work matters where you're coming to the end of your tether in relation to something. But this is saying to, as far as I'm concerned, with this Fool above it, which is such a powerful creative energy, a complementary energy to you, you will overcome these difficulties. You'll overcome them. And have this thought in mind that I express my own reality openly and honestly. Now there's another 7 here, so we're going to have a look at this. 7s can sometimes have a bit of a distracting force on people's lives. Well, but having said that, I'm looking at the astrology now, and for me, where it's placed, it is Saturn in the 3rd decan of Taurus, at 11th to the 20th of May. Now, Saturn very often is slow-moving, restrictive planet that imposes, I suppose, upon you limits and encouragement to fulfill the path that you were born to walk. We often want to move away into other areas, but Saturn brings us back into fulfilling your destiny. So we've got Saturn here, and then we have, which is slow moving, and we have Taurus, Saturn in Taurus. Now Taurus is a plodding, fixed sign, and it's in Earth, right? Discs in Earth, and Taurus is also an Earth sign. So together with Taurus and Saturn, we kind of get the feeling of, well, I think stagnation is probably the best word. I think what we'll find is that there may well be delays in payments. I think that you experience, I think you should be looking towards longer term results, really slow but steady growth in something. It's possible, I think, also that you may feel as if you've been working through something of a dry spell, but that number 7, again, as I do say, does have the capacity there to bring you to victory, for want of a better word, over the circumstances which face you. Now, I think what we have here is possibly a difficult period in your material affairs. You may have just been making do or being very tight with money. Or it could also be as if you've sort of put everything into something and seem to have got no result yet. And you've just stopped trying, and the energy is just sitting there. The energy is sitting there. Well, I think Saturn also partly gives rise to fear, and fear is a big factor in us failing to go out and do things. It's also a factor in delaying our recovery from things which have occurred in the past. It might be that you've been trying with someone in a relationship setting, and trying everything, putting everything into it that you want to get, you need to get, and they're just not getting it back to you. Now, this could be in a romantic relationship, or it could be a workplace relationship, or it could be between business relationships. And if that's the case, then it just might be time to take stock of your own situation and cut your losses. I'd have this thought in mind, really. I have the courage to believe that all that happens in my life serves for the best, because it does. And I am willing to release all that is not serving me in my life. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at this Knight of Cups. Hello, Knight. Well, he is, of course, the Prince of the Chariot of Waters. Now, is there someone around here that could be important to you? Maybe a Scorpio or a Libra, I'd say. Yeah. I really get the feeling of a young man, although of course it could be a woman, the core cards are interdependent, a person who is quite subtle, the way they go about things, almost a secret violence or maliciousness to them. Someone who's quite crafty and cunning. They're like an actor who appears calm on the surface, but it masks an intense passion underneath. Now there is, I think, the ability to detach. That's why I'm getting that Libra feeling around it. And Scorpio, yes, the ability to detach, I think, from the heavy and intense controlling emotions of Scorpio. The card, I think, shows someone with poise and control of the emotions, but being detached and cool can often be a front for insecurity and fear. Now, usually the feminine asks the masculine to go deep into his feelings, to join her where the two meet as one in relationship. Yeah. As a fast river flows, so does he, is what I'm getting here. He tries to get the most out of life possible. There is some degree of harmony and balance to him, though, I think. There's nothing... But there can be a great degree of severity with him. He cares intensely for power and information and his own aims. And he looks after himself. Now, if you're in any confusion as to where you might stand in relation to him, I can assure you that you stand after him. So this might be a period where you appear calm, but it masks an intense passion, which might make you volatile. Certainly he does, and I think you will have much to offer. You'll have immense ability. Now, he can't be relied upon, so you need to make sure that your word is your bond. His main responsibility, as I say, is to himself, so you need to take into account the needs of others. This guy, though, he can be secretive, hiding his deepest desires. Now, this is someone who could be in the arts or music. It could often be in relation to web design, the creation of images, or the creation of beauty, fashion, things like that. They're the types of feelings I'm getting around there. I would say this, though, that I think that this is a period which will be one of rest and healing for you. That's necessary after a period of some trauma, and it will allow you to mend before you go back out into a more productive phase. But if you don't use the time wisely, you can have a repeat cycle. Now, with this Prince of Cups, he's worn himself out very often as a result of drinking and girls. You need to also set realistic expectations of other people, because there is a sense around him that expectations are unfulfilled. So you should set realistic goals and be careful that you don't shut yourself away and stop trying to move yourself forward. There is really the potential for balance and harmony here. There is an intensity here which really resonates with that feeling of Scorpio that I get, which is all over this card at the moment. It adds an emotional depth to a sexual relationship, giving it an intensity. It doesn't just mean sexual fulfillment, but it means getting the most out of life by living it to the full and using the energy of the sun in the intense sign of Scorpio. Let's see this. There you are, we can see you now. Well, I see our old friend Saturn turning up again here, this time Saturn ruling the third decan of Sagittarius, the 13th to the 22nd of December. Look, Sagittarius wants to expand and express its optimism and its spiritual side. And as we mentioned, Saturn is about restrictions, and so it represses the expansive nature of Sagittarius. I think that what we can see here is that there's a danger that you might become overburdened and taking on too much, I think, feeling the pressure. There could also, I think, be a feeling here of being a victim of your own success. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we can wish for things, but the old saying goes, be careful of what you wish for, because then when you get it, you might find that you never really wanted it at all. I think your will to do something may be being blocked, and you might feel that no matter how hard you try, you can't achieve it. And frustration and anger and irritability can result. And you can also begin to lose faith in yourself and your ability to get what you want. But look, get on top of this horse. Get on top of this white horse. This is the hero or the heroine. Get on top of the horse and ride above it and see what there is from the divine point of view. This can sometimes represent an actual person putting someone down and dominating their spirit. I think you might have this thought in mind, which is, I have the right to follow my feelings and my life impulses. This is about to devolve into the Ace of Cups, you realize. And so the energy here is actually extremely good. This is an energy which, although it carries with it some difficulties, because the tens can be fractured a little bit, they can tend to fracture and let in things which we may not want to have in here, but ultimately it's one which is talking about you are completing and you are getting on top of things, just as this rider is on top of the horse. And so I think it is on balance a really good card for you. Let's have a look at some of these playing cards, shall we? I kind of see someone here. Obviously it's in relation to somebody in your life. This is a woman who loves gossip. She loves to sit down and gossip. Now, it might be a family member. It could be you. It could be somebody that you know, or a close friend. It's certainly someone who is very flirtatious, sophisticated. Well, actually, in some respects, someone who is very flirtatious, sophisticated, witty, and who loves to party. And I'm going to tell you this, that the energy that's coming up from here is that this card tells you that where you have your next sexual encounter, you will be very proficient at that sexual encounter. So much so, and your partner may say to you, well, what's that brought about by? And you'll say, oh, well, because Nigel drew this card and therefore I'm very proficient at the sexual encounter. And they'll say, well, get him to do it again, get him to do it again. So I think that's what that is saying there for you. And the other thing which I'm getting from it here is that there is with you, I think, and around you, a very strong sense of responsibility. Here we have the Two of Spades. There we go. Yeah, this is an interesting card. It plays out in different ways in readings that I do, because it depends where it sits in all of the spread that I'm doing, but it can very much signify the need to have others in your life, particularly at this time, in fearing of being alone. There is a need for harmony, I think, but there is, I think, for you, a difficult decision which you need to make. Don't let the need for friendship blind you to the truth. Now again, depending on the particular person where it sits in the spread, it can relate to breaks in relationships or deceit, possibly infidelity or separation. and it may also represent a break in an important process in your life. Well, she's quite straightforward, I think, for me tonight. It is that she represents a woman with power and with authority, someone who's sociable, outgoing, friendly, charming, and graceful. Now, she could be a wife or a girlfriend, a sister, or a close personal friend, and somebody who I think is able to provide you with very good advice. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go, another month done, and I trust you enjoyed receiving that reading as much as I did providing it to you. I've got to say this, that you were absolutely outstanding throughout the entire course of the reading, and it was a great pleasure to provide it to you. But I want you to remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, bye for now.